Project manufacturing may be confused with other manufacturing modes, but it is distinctly different. So, which are the top 10 project manufacturing ERP systems in 2024? That's what we have discussed in this video. So, let's dive in. Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP and digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, enterprise technology selection, change management, and implementation. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be top 10 project manufacturing ERP systems in 2024. Before we look at the list, let's define what project manufacturing is and how it compares with any other manufacturing modes. In general, the way project manufacturing works is it is going to have very project-centric structure. In general, this is not going to be as deep in manufacturing compared to your engineer to order, which might also have project-centric structures. So for the most part, the project manufacturing is going to have very WBS-centric workflows where the operational capabilities of the project are going to be equally important as your manufacturing-centric capabilities. In general, these companies don't have as comprehensive or as rich manufacturing. They don't have as rich BOMs that you are going to find with your engineer to order manufacturing. They might not have the engineering collaboration, etc. Their sales process is going to be far thicker the way you would have with your engineer to order, but then the sales process might not overlap with your engineering centric processes. Engineers may not be involved in those processes. They might have slightly more field surveys or site visit or the discovery process that they might be following as part of their project manufacturing processes. The industries that are going to be relevant from the project manufacturing perspective is architecture, engineering. It could be sign manufacturing, environmental consulting. Sometimes they are going to have the manufacturing workflows, the event management, the lighting industry. All of those industries are going to follow the project manufacturing centric workflows. The criteria that we use to compile this list, the product share, the acquisition strategy focused on your project manufacturing, product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, as well as technology strategy. So these are some of the variables that we look for when we compile this list. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Rootstock. And Rootstock is an SMB product built on top of your Salesforce platform. It has all of those capabilities. It is especially rich in those project manufacturing capabilities. It is going to have far tighter alignment with the Salesforce products. So, and most of these companies are going to be very thick overall in their sales processes. Sometimes they might use CPQ or the field service module as part of the process. And that's why Rootstock is a fit for the project-centric manufacturing. Also, in general, when you look at these companies, the way their processes are designed, they are going to have the graphic design component or the designers that are going to be involved in this process. And in general, they don't like ERP-centric products. So it might be a much heavier lift if they have to use very legacy technologies or legacy product. But they are very comfortable with products such as your Salesforce. So this could be a great experience for them, especially if you're going to have designers as part of your designers or marketers as part of your team. The strengths that you're looking at from the Rootstock perspective is the native integration with these Salesforce products. And then mixed mode manufacturing is another benefit that you have with Rootstock along with your project manufacturing. In general, project manufacturing is going to have some more modes as well. It might not be as robust as your engineer to order, but it's still going to have all of those flavors of mixed mode manufacturing that some of the companies might require. And the WBS centric manufacturing capabilities, a lot of manufacturing centric systems, they don't necessarily have the operational capabilities from the project perspective, they might have financial milestone, they might have revenue recognition. But when you look at the core operational capabilities from the project management perspective, they might not be there. Now, there are some other ERP systems that might be slightly more PSA centric, which is your professional services automation. In general, the way these systems differ is they are going to identify each of the resources and they are going to use those resources as part of your scheduling workflows. In general, with your manufacturing systems, you are going to be scheduling a group of resource. You don't have to identify that individual resource because that increases the amount of effort that you have to invest in configuring these projects. So in general, manufacturing companies don't like to identify each specific resources. They are dealing at the group level. PSA goes at the resource level, but these companies are going to be somewhere in between. So that's why you require very different capabilities, and that's where your WBS centric capabilities are going to be super handy. The limitations that you're going to run into with rootstock is the finance and accounting layers. They are not as comprehensive as or detailed as you're going to find with other products, and then it is going to rely on many different add-ons coming from third party. So that could be another limitation with rootstock. And then the ecosystem in the install base is not as much as the other products on this list. So that's another limitation that we have. So that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Dalmia Works. And it is really designed for those project manufacturing companies, especially if they are going to have flavors of the plastic or ETO-centric business models in general. The strengths with IQMS product is this is going to be best for project manufacturing companies that are going to be on SolidWorks, but the whole WBS-centric workflows are not going to be as friendly for companies when you are going to be in, let's say, the architecture space or engineering space, even though you might be manufacturing, but the experience might not be as friendly, as relatable as you are going to find with some of the other products such as your Microsoft FNO or Rootstock. The last mile capabilities that you will find with Dalmia Works, especially with manufacturing, it is going to have a lot more integration, the capabilities, the compliance in for those industries, but the experience may not be as good. So the other limitations that we have with Dalmia Works is very similar to any other focused system that is going to be your limited focus. So if you have very diverse business model and you are trying to host all of those companies in one database, then you might run into limitations. The ecosystem is going to be limited as well. It's probably not the best fit to be used for the holding companies or private equity companies when they are trying to combine a lot of different business models or trying to use it as the corporate financial ledger. Then you are probably not going to get the best value out of it. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Acumatica. Acumatica is the SMB product. The way the capabilities are structured inside Acumatica is it has the project manufacturing capabilities, but the project manufacturing capabilities are not going to be as rich for your WBS-centric workflows, even though they have some of these steps and tasks, but they are not as robust as the capabilities that are really designed for those project manufacturing capabilities. It also has launched a PSA-centric module, but that PSA-centric module is going to have layers that are going to be relevant for PSA companies that is not going to be as relatable for your project manufacturing centric industries. But overall, the way Acumatica is designed, it has a lot more layers that is going to be relevant for your project manufacturing companies, especially when you look at the mixed mode manufacturing, or if you look at the configure to order processes. All of these could be relevant for project manufacturing companies as well, and you need all of these capabilities as part of the same product. The strength with Acumatica is the financial layer. The financial milestones that you will require with Acumatica are going to be there, and the CRM as well as the estimation process. It has very rich module for that, so that's going to be a strength. And then the diverse capabilities are going to be there in accommodating many different business models. The limitations that you're looking at from the Acumatica perspective is it's not designed for those global workloads, and the manufacturing capabilities are probably going to be limited. But for project manufacturing, you probably don't require as robust or comprehensive manufacturing capabilities. So that's why Acumatica might be okay in these verticals, and you will require a lot more add-ons in general for project manufacturing. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. Oracle Cloud ERP is a slightly larger product designed for enterprises. So in the case of Oracle Cloud ERP, you are looking at verticals when you look at project manufacturing, when you are going to be in communication, satellites, or telecom centric verticals. That's where you are going to require a lot more CPU processes that are going to be relevant from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective. But then the project manufacturing capabilities from the WBS centric WBS perspective, they are going to be far richer for those verticals in general. The last mile capabilities for these verticals are going to be far richer as well, that are going to be bundled as part of the suite. So the strengths that we are looking at from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective is proven for very large workloads. So when you are going to be in that Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 workloads, that's when your Oracle Cloud ERP is proven. The ecosystem is going to be prevalent as well in many different countries, many different locations. So if you're looking for consulting base that is available in many countries, Oracle Cloud ERP could be a great product. The limitations that you are looking at from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective is the last mile capabilities for the project manufacturing, especially if you're looking for those suite-centric capabilities, they are going to be slightly limiting with Oracle Cloud ERP, and they will require a lot more consulting configuration effort compared to other specialized products. Not necessarily a manufacturing solution. So Oracle Cloud ERP's focus is slightly more into service-centric spaces. So if those service-centric spaces are going to have the manufacturing flavors again in those verticals such as your telco, communication, etc., then Oracle Cloud ERP could be a great product. But for the most part, it is not necessarily a pure play manufacturing solution. In general, the project manufacturing companies are going to be at the intersection of construction manufacturing, or it is going to be slightly more event management as well as manufacturing. For those verticals, Oracle Cloud ERP is a great fit, but it is not necessarily a SMB solution. So that's probably going to be a final limitation. So that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA, similar to your Oracle Cloud ERP, is very enterprise-centric products. It is designed for those large companies that are going to have global workloads that are trying to combine all of those in one systems from the planning perspective, from a scheduling perspective. That's where SAP S/4HANA really shines. In general, the way the product model is designed, it's going to be slightly friendlier for project manufacturing companies because it does really well. It's proven, and it has a lot more logos in those project-centric industries. The power of HANA as well as the financial governance processes are going to be the other strengths with SAP S/4HANA. Now, the cloud version is slightly behind from the on-prem version, and it is probably going to be too big for the smaller companies. And the last mile capabilities, similar to your Oracle Cloud ERP, are going to be very limited as well. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite LN, and LN is going to overcome the limitations that you are going to have with slightly smaller manufacturing products. For example, let's say if you compare this with Acumatica or Infor CSI, those limitations are not going to be there with your Infor Cloud Suite LN. It supports slightly more complex WBS-centric workflows for project manufacturing. The other strength that you're looking at from the Infor Cloud Suite LN perspective is it can support global operations. So if you have global workloads, then your Infor Cloud Suite LN is probably going to be a great fit. Overall, from the manufacturing models perspective, it is probably one of the most comprehensive discrete product. So for that, Infor Cloud Suite LN is going to be a great fit. And then best of breed integrations from the manufacturing perspective, they are bundled as part of your suite. So that's a huge advantage for Infor Cloud Suite LN. Now, the limitations that you're going to run into are going to be very similar to any other Infor products or the focus products. The technology is slightly clunky. The experience is not going to be as good as your cloud native products, as well as the ecosystem is probably going to be weak. So those are some of the limitations. So that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is IFS. IFS is really designed for project-centric organizations. It has one of the richest capabilities from the project manufacturing perspective. It is also going to have very deep capabilities from the field service as well as from EAM perspective. So when you are looking at very large project programs, for all of those capabilities, IFS is a great fit in general. The strengths that you're looking at when you are looking at the costing scenarios of these large project programs, when you want to track them at the consolidated level, when you are going to have very, very, very complex hierarchy of projects, That's where IFS really shines. The limitations that you're going to run into with IFS are going to be very similar to any other focused products. That's going to be it's not as diversified as some of the other vanilla products. The ecosystem is going to be limited. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Epicor Kinetic. Compared to your Enforce CSI, Epicor Kinetic is designed for SMB-centric verticals in the formal manufacturing processes for project manufacturing, and it is also going to have support for complex inventory needs in some verticals. That is going to be really relevant. And in general, it has slightly richer support for those WBS-centric processes compared to other manufacturing products. So that's why Epicor Kinetic is a great fit there. The other final strength for Epicor Kinetic is going to be most of the project manufacturing companies are probably going to transition from your Microsoft project. So that's where the Microsoft look and feel is going to be super handy as well. The limitations that we have with Epicor Kinetic are going to be very similar to any other focused products. The financial layers that we have with Epicor Kinetic are not as detailed as with slightly larger products. And then the field service experience is not going to be as embedded. Quality experience is not going to be as embedded. The ecosystem and marketplace are probably going to be on a weaker side. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central has one of the richest support for project manufacturing centric companies because it is modeled, the data model, the process model is modeled after Microsoft Project, which was one of the richest project management platform. In general, the companies that are transitioning from your Microsoft project, they will find Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central to be relatable. Also, it does not have all of those complex layers of manufacturing that you are going to find with those manufacturing centric products. And typically that is not a need for project centric companies. Also, you are going to have a lot more workflows and the approval process that are going to be slightly more operational in nature. That is not going to be supported by the companies that are going to be just they are going to have the project manufacturing functionality, but that is limited only to your financial processes. Then your operational approval governance processes, typically Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central is going to be a superior fit there. So the strengths with your BC product is it is designed for those global companies, strong support for your WBS centric processes, and marketplace and ecosystem is going to be far friendlier as well. The limitations that you're going to run into with the BC product is it is not necessarily designed for those publicly traded companies, even though for SMBs it might be okay, but it is not going to have as deep financial traceability or SOX compliance built. It might be built, but it might not be as relatable as products such as your SAP S4. The ecosystem has very technical focus as well as limited business consulting expertise. So that's where we see a lot more implementation challenges with in the Microsoft ecosystem or with the BC product. So you might want to hire a consulting firm that can help you from the business consulting perspective so that the technical companies are not necessarily overcommitting with their implementation effort. And then the other limitations that we have with BC is Microsoft does not necessarily have direct support for their smaller partners. And typically it's not going to have as controlled implementation. So those are some of the limitations. And that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO, and FNO is the bigger product from your Microsoft. It is not going to have all of those limitations that your BC product is going to have. It's not going to require as many add-ons. Overall, from the manufacturing perspective, it will be able to support a lot more different manufacturing models comprehensively that you might not have with the Business Central. So for the project manufacturing organizations in general, they are not going to be as deep in their manufacturing capabilities. But let's say if you are trying to accommodate a lot of different business models as part of your corporate umbrella, and you are looking for a diverse solution that can support many different business models across the globe, that's where your FNO product could be a great fit. The strengths that we have from the FNO perspective is the core ERP capabilities are going to be far richer. The best of breed products, CRM as well as field service, and both of them are going to be equally relevant for project manufacturing organizations, and they are integrated at the database level. The ecosystem and marketplace, you will find a lot of options. So that's a huge strength for FNO product. The limitations are going to be very similar to your Microsoft PC, but here you will not require as many add-ons as your PC products, and it is not necessarily designed for smaller companies. So those are some of the limitations for your FNO product, and that's number one. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include a link of the detailed article, so you might want to check that. Also, this podcast is available in the audio form on Apple, Spotify, and Google. So check there and subscribe if you like. These videos we publish on a weekly basis. So like and subscribe if you don't miss any of these videos. Also, if you have not checked our digital transformation report, we are going to include the link of that as well. So on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.